Mbappe is more of a complete player. He can do more things. He can do the unexpected. He will do things that you will react, wow.
Kylian Mbappé has reached a strange point in football. He is no longer simply a young superstar with potential.
He arrived at the first team for the first training sessions. He was like 16 years old. I remember going to Moutinho.
He has become one of the central figures of the sport, a World Cup winner, one of the most prolific forwards of his generation, and a player who has carried enormous expectations since his teenage years.
First time I saw him, I said, we have a Pelé in France, you know, and fortunately I was right. He looks relaxed, he looks easy, he looks intelligent, he looks performing when it's demanded.
But alongside the golds, trophies, speed, and individual awards, another subject keeps following him: his ego. Some critics see confidence, others see arrogance.
Of Ronaldo, the phenomenal, the Brazilian, and he would do things that other ones cannot do.
Some former players believe his enormous self-belief is precisely what makes him special, while others have questioned whether the expectations surrounding Mbappe have become too large. The interesting part is that football legends don't all see the same player. And that's what makes the conversation so fascinating. Rather than treating rumors or social media claims as fact, the better question is this: what have respected football figures actually said about Mbappe?
He's one of them who can embarrass you with a skill or take the mick, and then you don't sleep after the game, let alone before the game.
And what can his career tell us about the personality behind the superstar? 1. Zlatan Ibrahimovic doesn't believe Mbappe is the problem if there is one former superstar who understands the relationship between confidence and controversy. It's Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic has never been shy about expressing his opinions, and his comments about Mbappe have often attracted attention. He has praised Mbappe's enormous potential, while also criticizing decisions surrounding the French star's career. But that's important. Criticism of a player's decisions isn't automatically criticism of the player's personality.
He's a shark, like in his mentality, he wants to grab everything that he can have. But once he's on the pitch, he's a shark, and this is what the big guys are.
Ibrahimovic's own career was built around extraordinary self-belief. He understood that elite football requires a certain level of ego. You have to believe you're better than the defender standing in front of you. You have to demand the ball when everyone else is hiding. You have to believe you can score when the entire stadium expects you to miss. Mbappe clearly possesses that mentality. The question is whether he can maintain it without allowing confidence to become entitlement. 2. Thierry Henry has highlighted the pressure around Mbappe. Thierry Henry has repeatedly spoken about the enormous expectations placed on Mbappe. And that's an important distinction. When a player becomes a global superstar at such a young age, people begin analyzing everything. A bad match becomes a crisis. A frustrated reaction becomes a personality issue. A transfer decision becomes evidence of arrogance. A confident interview becomes ego. Henry understands this environment because he lived through something similar. He knows that being one of the faces of French football comes with extraordinary pressure. Mbappe became a World Cup champion before turning 20. From that moment, expectations became almost impossible. People stopped asking whether he could become a great player. They started asking whether he could become one of the greatest ever. That is an enormous psychological burden. 3. Cristiano Ronaldo is part of the comparison. Perhaps the biggest comparison surrounding Mbappe has always been Cristiano Ronaldo. The comparison isn't accidental. Both players became superstars young. Both developed extraordinary speed and athleticism. Both became devastating goal scorers. Both have enormous confidence, and both understand the commercial side of being a global football icon. Ronaldo has often spoken about the importance of self-belief and ambition.
He wants to slow you down before he knocks it, where other players don't really do that, but he wants to slow you down so much, so then when he stops and goes again, his acceleration is incredible.
That mentality is part of what made him successful. Mbappe appears to possess a similar hunger, but there's an important difference. Mbappe's career is still developing. Ronaldo spent years transforming himself from a spectacular winger into an extraordinarily efficient goal scorer. Mbappe still has time to determine what his final version of greatness will look like. 4. The ego question often comes from his transfer decisions. One of the biggest reasons the ego discussion surrounding Mbappe became so intense was his decision-making around his club career. His long-running relationship with Paris Saint-Germain and eventual move to Real Madrid generated enormous media attention. Every contract decision was analyzed. Every public statement was examined. Every report about his future became a major football story. Supporters saw ambition. Critics saw excessive control. But there's another way to look at it. Mbappe understood that he was one of the most valuable footballers in the world. Naturally, he wanted control over his career. That doesn't automatically make someone arrogant. Professional footballers have limited careers. A player who reaches the highest level at 18 or 19 may have only a relatively short window to make major career decisions. The problem is that when a superstar exercises that control, millions of people have an opinion about it. 5. His teammates see a different side the public usually sees Mbappe during matches, interviews, award ceremonies, and major transfer stories. Teammates see something completely different. They see the player in training. They see how he reacts after losing. They see how he treats younger players. They see how he behaves when nobody is watching cameras. And that is why teammate opinions are particularly valuable. Over the years, Mbappe has been described by teammates and coaches as hard-working, competitive, focused, and highly demanding of himself. Those characteristics can sometimes look like ego from the outside. A player who constantly wants to improve can appear obsessed. A player who demands excellence can appear difficult. A player who believes he should take responsibility can appear selfish. The line between confidence and arrogance can be very thin. 6. His numbers make confidence understandable. There is another uncomfortable truth for Mbappe's critics. He has produced the numbers to justify enormous confidence. At Monaco, he became a teenage sensation. At Paris Saint-Germain, he developed into one of the most prolific scorers in European football. For France, he became a central figure in one of the world's strongest national teams. Then came the 2022 World Cup. Mbappe scored a hat-trick in the final against Argentina and finished the tournament with 8 goals. France ultimately lost on penalties, but Mbappe's individual performance became one of the most extraordinary World Cup final displays in modern football. A player who has achieved that level of success is naturally going to believe in himself. The real question isn't whether Mbappe has an ego. Every elite athlete has some form of competitive ego. The question is whether that ego helps or hurts his football. 7. He clearly wants to be the main character. Mbappe has never seemed interested in being a supporting actor. He wants responsibility. He wants the ball. He wants to take important penalties. He wants to decide matches. That mentality can be incredibly valuable for a forward. When a match is tied in the final minutes, teams need players who are willing to take responsibility. Mbappe has repeatedly demonstrated that willingness. But there is a potential downside. Football is a team sport. No matter how talented one player is, winning major trophies requires cooperation. The greatest challenge of Mbappe's next stage may therefore be learning when to impose himself and when to allow teammates to become the stars. That's a lesson many great players have had to learn. 8. Lionel Messi's example matters. Lionel Messi offers an interesting contrast. Messi's public image has traditionally been quieter and less confrontational. That doesn't mean he lacks confidence. Quite the opposite. His confidence appears through his football. Mbappe is a different personality. He's more outspoken, more visibly ambitious, and more comfortable discussing his goals. Neither approach is automatically better. Football history is full of different personalities who reached the top. Some were quiet. Some were loud. Some were intimidating. Some were theatrical. What matters is whether the personality supports performance. 9. Real Madrid changes the conversation. Joining Real Madrid places Mbappe under an entirely different microscope. Real Madrid isn't simply another club. It carries enormous historical expectations. The club has been home to players such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, Luis Figo, and many other global superstars. At Madrid, being talented isn't enough. You are expected to deliver. The pressure becomes especially intense when the club spends years waiting for a player of Mbappe's profile. That environment could either amplify his ego or mature it. If he succeeds, his confidence will be celebrated as leadership. If he struggles, the same confidence could suddenly be described as arrogance. That's how football narratives work. The same personality trait can be praised or criticized depending on the scoreboard. 10. The real test is what happens next. Mbappe doesn't need to prove that he is talented. That part is already established. He doesn't need to prove that he can score. He doesn't need to prove that he can perform on enormous stages. The question now is whether he can combine individual brilliance with collective leadership. Can he make teammates better? Can he accept criticism? Can he adapt when a coach changes his role? Can he remain composed when the goals stop coming? Can he sacrifice personal statistics for a bigger objective? Those questions will ultimately determine how football history judges his personality. Because greatness isn't simply about believing you're the best. It's about proving it repeatedly while remaining capable of learning. So, what do football legends really say about Mbappe's ego? The answer isn't as simple as he's arrogant or he's humble. Mbappe is extraordinarily confident. He's ambitious. He's competitive. He knows his value. And he clearly believes he belongs among football's biggest stars. Those qualities can look like ego because, in some ways, they are. But ego isn't automatically a negative thing in elite sport. A striker needs confidence. A superstar needs ambition. A leader needs the courage to take responsibility. The danger comes when confidence becomes unwillingness to adapt. That's the line Mbappe must continue to navigate. His career has already produced a World Cup triumph, enormous goal-scoring numbers, and some of the biggest performances in modern football. But his ultimate legacy will depend on what happens from here. If Mbappe learns to combine his enormous self-belief with humility, teamwork, and adaptability, the same ego that critics question could become one of his greatest strengths. Because the greatest athletes don't necessarily eliminate their ego. They learn how to control it. And for Kylian Mbappé, that may be the next challenge standing between being a superstar and becoming a true football legend.